and I can't take the roll, so I don't know what. I don't know. So this is 1.213/26. Is this a test question? Oh, yes. Anything with the dang old difference quotient, yes. So let's go ahead and do the difference quotient. They want you to do the difference quotient and the go-kart. Remember I told you, in the difference quotient, that's the most important thing to learn right there. This is not on your test. It shouldn't be. But I'm going to show you how to do both. So go ahead and write both of them down while I do the same thing. Also need to set my timer so I stay on task. And 1:14, 12:11, so we'll just do an hour. Let's see, clock, 1 hour. Okay, so this one says, I'm going to write down my colors, and hopefully that helps somebody. F of x plus h minus, I do that in red, and I'll put my whiteboard up in just a second. Blue, f of x all over h. And I'm going to do them on separate pages. Since this is a homework question, since this is a test question, I want to cover it really well. So that way, y'all won't screw it up, even though some of y'all will break an amble with a banana. F of x is equal to x squared plus 8, square root. So here is my whiteboard. And I'm going to rewrite mine with orange marker with a big set of parentheses. So brackets, the square root of parentheses squared plus 8 minus, it's supposed to be red, minus the square root of x squared plus 8 all over h. And I'm going to plug in x plus h, and I'm going to do that in green. I'm sorry, yeah, x plus h. So we've got shortcut number what? Shortcut number 1. So we'll go ahead and do that. I don't know much help. It ain't going to be much help, but we'll do what we can. The square root of x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 8 minus brackets the square root of x squared plus 8 all over h. Now, the only thing I can see that you can do with this is conjugate the numerator. And even if you did conjugate the numerator, it would put the radical in the denominator. I really don't know if that's what they want to do. I don't know if they want to set up or if they want to conjugate. Even if you did conjugate, yeah, the square root, the x squareds would cancel. I'm thinking 2 or 3 steps. the 8s would cancel, but then you could cancel the h's, and you'd get 2x plus h. So it looks like to me, if you did conjugate, you would get, I'm thinking out loud, y'all, you would get 2x plus h over h times square root of blah, blah, blah minus the square root of blah, blah, blah. You're going to get some type of answer like that, but I'm going to check first and see if they want to go that far. If they want to go that far, I'll show you. But that should be, this is the setup answer. This is the answer if you conjugate. So let me see, or rationalize, I'm sorry. Rationalize, let me see what they want. They conjugated. See the 2x plus h? Yeah, that's what they did. So let's go over rationalizing the denominator, because some of you probably have forgot about that. Rationalizing the denominator. Rationalizing, period, the numerator or the denominator, using the conjugate. And I hope I spell it right. Okay? Rationalizing using the conjugate. So I'm going to do something real simple. I'm going to have x over the square root of 7 plus x. All right, so we have a radical in the denominator, so I'm going to rationalize the denominator to get the radical out. So I'm going to multiply by the conjugate of the square root of 7 plus x, and that would be the square root of 7 what?
Minus x.
Minus x. And whatever you do on the top, you got to do on the bottom. Now, that's going to give us 7 minus x squared, because this is shortcut number 3. And I'm going to write that down, assuming that you, or I have showed you. Did I show y'all shortcuts 1 through 5?
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, I got one person saying pretty sure you have. One person saying I didn't. Now, did I or did I not?
Not for this class.
Okay. All right, then I'll do that right quick. Remember, this is a review section, and I've got to do what y'all tell me. So if y'all don't, 1, a plus b quantity squared is equal to a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. And some of you should be saying, oh yeah, I remember those. I just use the FOIL method. Well, keep doing that and you'll fail this class. A minus b quantity squared is equal to a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Shortcut number 3, a squared minus b squared, is equal to a plus b times a minus b. 4, a cubed plus b cubed is equal to a plus b times a squared minus ab plus b squared. And shortcut number 5, a cubed minus b cubed is equal to a minus b times a squared plus ab plus b squared. And should you know them that fluently? Yes, you should.
So is that third one a squared minus a squared?
I'm sorry. B squared. Okay, now when you conjugate or when you rationalize, you're basically setting up for shortcut number 3. And that's what you have right here. give you another minute, give you another second or two to write those down. Y'all remember them now? Yes, no? I see a couple of people nodding their heads and the rest of you won't communicate. But that's okay. Non-communication, that's a real good way to get in the janitorial closet for an office. Yeah, we need an office for this person. He or she is a recluse, so take that corner office down there where the janitorial supplies is and put this person in there because they don't communicate worth a damn. So anyway, there you go. So keep up with the glass of water and lettuce and keep up with that. I'm not going to speak and see where it gets you. All right, so here we go. So that's going to be x times the square root of 7 minus x over the square root of 7 times square root of 7 is square root of 49, which is 7, minus x squared. And that is how you rationalize the denominator. Now you can also rationalize the numerator. When you rationalize the numerator, you're going to get, let me think up a problem. Let's go with the square root of x minus 1 over x. Now here we have the square root in the numerator. And I'm going to multiply by the conjugate, which is going to be the square root of x plus 1. And here is shortcut number 3 again. And that's going to be x minus 1 over x times square root of x plus 1. Now these are two simple problems. But in a review, I'm going to show you the simple problem, and then I'm going to go to the more advanced problem, and we're going to do the conjugate. So here, we rationalize by the conjugate to get shortcut number 3 on the bottom. Here, we rationalize by the conjugate to get the shortcut on the top, to get rid of the radical. Remember a little bit, knocking the cobwebs loose? You're welcome. So let's go back to the problem. I'm going to fold this up right here because that's the answer, which I did in my head, so it could be a little bit incorrect. So there's our problem. So I'm going to have to write it real small. So I'm going to write it real small so I can get everything on one sheet of paper. I'm going to go back to my black, and I'm going to do the square root of x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 8 minus the square root of x squared plus 8 over h. So what is the conjugate of the square root of this mess minus the square root of this mess? The square root of this mess plus the square root of this mess. The square root of x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 8 plus the square root of x squared plus 8 over the square root of x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 8 plus the square root of x squared plus 8. Now, that's going to put h times all this mess on the bottom. Does everybody understand that? Because I'm not going to rewrite all that. So h on the bottom times all that trash. And that's what that squiggly line means. over, well, this is shortcut number what?
Is it?
Shortcut number 3. The square root of this times the square root of this is all that to the second power, which is whatever that is. Same thing here. So it's going to be x squared plus 2xh plus h squared plus 8 minus x squared minus what? 8. Now somebody tell me, let me get my red pen out. Somebody tell me what cancels.
The x squared and then 8s.
And is that supposed to happen? Yes.
Probably.
So now I'm going to factor out a h. 2x plus h over h times all that trash. And the h is canceled. And you get 2x plus h over all that trash. Radical plus radical. What's for lunch, Miss Brown? I always ask when I see people that I'm just curious. Had somebody eating a popsicle for breakfast this morning?
It's some soup. It's not very good.
Well, soup is that's good for lunch.
And
Better than a red Solo cup and a Marlboro. There you go.
Pretty bad.
There you go. I used to have a Marine buddy. That's what he woke up to. Bourbon and Marlboro Reds. Oh. All right, let's see what their answer is. 2x plus h, 2x plus h over all that crap. Now you do the second part. You do this one. I'm going to put it on my sheet, and then we'll, as you write it down and start working on it. Now, is this one problem a test question, or is this possibly 2 test questions?
Just 1 test question.
No, it's actually 2 test questions. I would not give you 1 test question. It'd take too long. This is possibly 2 test questions. I would not want to give you this as 1, but it's a homework question, so you need to know how to do it. So, f of x. I'm gonna do my colors. So f of x. I'm just going to use green. Minus, that's going to be a red minus. F of a, I'll do in orange. All over x minus a. And our example is f of x is equal to the square root of x squared plus 8. And here is part 2. So I'm going to write f of x in brackets, square root of x squared plus 8. Minus in red. And orange would be the square root of parentheses squared plus 8 over x minus a. And what do you plug in to that right there? A.
A.
So now we've got the square root of x squared plus a minus the square root of a squared plus a all over x minus a. Looks like to me you're going to conjugate the top. So you're going to multiply by the green plus the orange over the green plus the orange. So go to it, because that's all algebra. Mr. Smith is in his basement with all the dead bodies. You don't tell too many people about the basement, do you, Mr. Smith?
No, I try to keep it a secret.
Mm-hmm. Okay, you got to tell us about the basement. Is that your home away from home, or is that the office in your home, or what? Or is
Yes.
that somebody's house that you don't even know?
No, it's my house. It's just our office.
Okay. I'm glad it's not somebody that you don't know. That'd be bad. I'm giving y'all a chance. So I'm going to take this to the other page. I'm going to scoot it up a little bit. And I hope my colors don't, offend anybody, but I think it's kind of important when you're doing substitution and you're having to deal with different things. It's kind of nice to do it in colors. And y'all have to excuse me about my fingers. I had to put together a gearbox yesterday for my hay rake, and it was just full of grease, and I got grease, and I've washed. So please don't think I don't wash my fingers, but I do. Anyway, I'm not a wino that lives on the sidewalk. I know that's probably what y'all thought, but okay. So I'm going to change everything to black now. And I'm going to do the square root of x squared plus 8 minus the square root of a squared plus 8 over x minus a. And now I'm going to do the conjugate in lilac, as Squidward says, lilac. The square root of x squared plus 8 plus the square root of a squared plus 8 over the square root of x squared plus 8 plus the square root of a squared plus 8. And what will that do to the top? Because this is shortcut number 3. A minus b times a plus b is equal to a squared minus b squared, which would free up these radicands and get rid of the radical. So that's going to give us x squared plus 8 minus a squared minus 8 over x minus a times all that trash. And what happens to the top?
It cancels.
The 8's cancel. That leaves us with shortcut number 3 on the top. X squared minus A squared over X minus A times all that trash. All right, now I want you to finish it. All you got to do is one step with shortcut number 3 on top, and then something will cancel. But I'm not going to show you. You have to use shortcut number 3. I'm going to let you do that for a second. So I'm going to take that to the next page.
Hubert,
Yes.
if it looks like even if you don't use shortcut 3, you can still just cancel like the X and the A. Would you
No, you
take?
can't do that because it's got a subtraction symbol in the middle of it.
So you couldn't just?
No.
Oh, okay.
That is, who asked that question? Mr. Lowry?
Yeah.
Yes, that is a common thing that students think you can do. You can do this. XA squared over XA. Now you can cancel that because it's multiplication. But when you have a subtraction or addition symbol, it's a totally different animal.
Okay.
So X plus A, X minus A over X minus A. And what happens? X minus A's cancel, and you're left with X plus A.
Got it.
A lot of people say, when I show you a problem like this, a lot of people say, when in the hell are we ever going to use that? Well, somebody tell me what we just did. We took a big conglomerate of a problem and got it down to what? Something real simple. I got something y'all can think about. What is this? A while back, that was called a brick phone. What do we have now?
A smartphone.
We have smartphones, but we never use this kind of stuff in real life. We never take something that's big and bulky and take mathematics and science and dwindle it down to something that's smaller, more compact, and more powerful. We don't ever do that.
We do. We
What?
was that sarcasm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just think, all those people with redneck disorder, redneck attitude disorder, when are we ever going to use this stuff? We wouldn't have flat screen TVs. We wouldn't have smartphones. We wouldn't have electric cars, which are good, but they're not going to take over the universe because of the batteries. Do you know how much it costs to mine for the lithium that goes in the batteries?
A lot.
Research it. And you got to use them old dang old Caterpillar, dang old bulldozers, dang old running on dang old engines. Energy is, renewable energy is a good support mechanism, but it will never take over. At least in my lifetime, it won't. Now, I may have a little bit of redneck disorder, but I just don't see a Prius moving dirt like a D10 will. I just don't see it. All right. Let's move on.
Can you go back to the second part of that last question really quick?
Oh, no, I'm done. I'm
Screenshot.
done. I'm ready to go. Hold on. There. Hold on. You want to go before this?
I think my computer's frozen.
Okay, give it a second. Is it frozen? Still frozen?
No, I see it.
Before this page, you want this page?
Can you go back one more, please?
Yes, ma'am.
You got that.
That right there?
Yes, sir. Okay, thank you.
You got it? Oh my God, she took a picture. What a concept. All right, let's see what they got. I got x plus a. Let's see what they got. Oh, x plus a over all that stuff. I forgot all that stuff. Don't forget all that stuff. It's going to be times all that stuff. So I'm just going to write 3. So it should be x plus a over 2 sets of radicals. X plus a over 2 sets of radicals. 2 good test questions. Those are 2 good test questions. This one and this one. So whoever sent that one, that was 100 slash, that was, well, 1.2. I don't know why it said 100, but anyway, I don't know. 1.213, was it 13? There it is. 1.1, I thought it was 13. No, I guess it wasn't. I don't know where it was. All right, let's do 22. 1.2, 22 slash 7. Let's see what this one is. All right, let me lower it a little bit. There you go. Go ahead and write this down. The club plans to have a fundraiser for which 6 tickets will be sold. $6 tickets will be sold. The cost of the room rental and refreshments is $180. Find and graph the function P is equal to f of n that gives the profit from the fundraiser when n tickets are sold. Notice that f of o is equal to negative 180. That is, if you rent the room and nobody shows up, you're out 180 bucks. Okay, how many tickets must be sold to break even? Okay, go ahead and write that one down. I'm trying to figure out. I think break even would be the x-intercept, would it not? Because break even is you owe 0 money, right? So negative 180 is right here. So I'm going to try to draw this on my handy dandy whiteboard here. 0 and 180 is right here. 0, negative 180. And up here, if you sold, I'm trying to think, $6 tickets, how many will 6 will go in there 30 times, right? 30 times 6 is 180, is it not?
Yes.
So I'm thinking 30 tickets, 10, 20, 30 tickets would represent breaking even. That would be 30, 0. So this is what I've got. Now, let's talk about this. What does the 0, negative 180 represent? That means if 0 people show up, you're out 180 what? Bucks. That's what that means. If you sell 30 tickets, you've paid for the room. Everybody with me? So it seems like to me they want to know what is the equation for that line. That's what I pick up from it. What do y'all pick up from it? Y'all just not going to say anything. It's all right. Piece of plywood over the janitor's sink. That's what you're going to have. Find an equation for this line. All right, now y'all should be able to do that because we already did some of these. You got 2 points. What do you need to find?
The slope, right?
And then plug it into the point slope equation. Now I honestly don't have any idea if that's what they want, but that seems like what I think they want. We'll see. At least nothing else. You've gone over how to find the equation of a line. So I'm going to give y'all, let's see, what does my clock say? 49 seconds. I'm going to give y'all a minute to do this problem. Red Solo Cup. My Dogecoin come up a little bit, but the stock market is still down. But that's okay. We don't have mean tweets. That's all that matters. That's what's important. Bad. All right, here we go. M is equal to delta y over delta x, which is equal to y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1. We read from left to right, so this is x sub 1, y sub 1, and this is x sub 2, y sub 2. So 0 minus negative 180 over 30 minus 0. I get 180 divided by 30, which is equal to what? 6?
6.
So M is equal to 6. I'm going to pick this point right here. Why am I going to pick this point? Because it ain't got no negatives, and it's also got 0. I'd rather pick this one, lesser of two evils. If you like whips and chains, go ahead and knock yourself out with the negative. But I'm going to go with the 30 and the 0. So y minus 0 is equal to 6 times x minus 30. Y is equal to 6x minus 180. Now, I don't know, but I think, given the information that they've given us, I think that is the equation that they want. Because I have technically never seen that question before. Sometimes they throw a new one in every once in a while, and I've never seen that one before. So let's see what they want. P is equal to, let's see, what do they use? They use P function of n. So change that n to an x. So 6, or change that x to an n, minus 180 Okay, so I don't know. Let's see what they want. I don't know what they want. Okay. I thought, oh, I put 6x. I'm sorry. 6n. And they want you to graph it. Well, hell, we already graphed it. So let's graph it down here. 180. Is that 180? And 30. That should be your answer. I like that question. How many tickets? We already said that. 30. We already answered all these questions. I like this question. That's a good test question. I need to go put that on the test. So who sent that one? Let's see who sent that one. Probably Mr. Michelle, another class. Yep. 1.2, 26/9. 1.2, 26. I think this is out of this class. 1.2, 26/9. 1.2, 26/9. Okay, this one says, write a definition of the function whose graph is given. Okay, first of all, do not look at this down here. You need to focus on the graph, so you need to blow it up as big as you can. You need to find an equation for this line, and you need to find an equation for this line. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to cover up the answer because you don't need to look at those. You need to find. Don't worry about the circles. Don't worry about that. Just find the equation for this line and find the equation for this line because you got to find 2 points on each line. I'm going to give y'all 3 minutes to do this one. And if you can't do it, don't worry. Just chalk it up for failure. And you'll be living in somebody's basement. Oops. Sorry about that, Mr. Smith. That's all right, Mr. Smith. I think you got a sense of humor, and I think you're tough, so you can handle it. Unless you're an underlying snowflake. You're not an underlying snowflake, are you?
No, that's not the first time I've heard that joke.
Okay. Why, do you stay a lot? Do you broadcast a lot out of your basement, Mr. Smith?
No, not most of the time.
All right. You got 2 minutes now. Now, while you're working, I'm going to draw this on my whiteboard here. One, two, three, four. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 3, and 5. And let's go with 9 and 3. Now, the first thing you do when you have this problem is you find 2 good points on each line. So this is x sub 1, y sub 1. This is x sub 2, y sub 2. This is x sub 1, y sub 1. This is x sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. So basically, x sub 1, what you're going to do 2 equations. Y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. And this is x sub 1, y sub 1, x sub 2, y sub 2. And do your math. Now I'm going to skip a step. M is equal to parentheses minus parentheses over parentheses minus parentheses. You will never, ever see me skip the parentheses. And I've got 3 3/4 degrees. I've got 3 degrees, and I've got like 24 hours toward my doctorate, but I didn't want it, so I don't want to have to deal with that. So anyway, to make a long story short, I still use these parentheses. It's not beneath me to use parentheses. Some of y'all have some kind of ego problem or something. You get problems wrong and you don't use the parentheses. So I don't understand that. But anyway, 5, 4, 1, 0. Now I'm going to do the orange. And that's going to be parentheses minus parentheses over parentheses minus parentheses. 3, 5, 9, 3. So the slope on the green is equal to 1 over 1, right? Which is 1. The slope over here is equal to 3 minus 5 is negative 2 over 9 minus 3 is what?
6.
Which is negative 1/3. So now y minus, I'm going to pick 4, is equal to 1 times x minus 0. Y is equal to x plus 4. There's the equation for the green line. And now my equation for my orange line, y minus, I'm going to pick this one, 5 equals negative 1/3 times x minus 3. And that's going to be 1/3 plus 1. So y is equal to negative 1/3 x plus 1 plus 5 plus 6. Y'all, what'd y'all get when you did the algebra? I skipped a few steps. Go ahead and distribute that negative 1/3 and bring that 5 over. Do you get this? That means somebody needs to say yes or no, or
Yes.
thank you. So now I've got, now what is the domain? Well, x plus 4, what domain can I use? Well, 0. I can use all of these as x's, but it stops at what? 5. And can I use 5? Yes or no? What does an open circle mean?
No.
Can I use 5?
No.
No. So that's going to be from 0 to 5, exclusive of 5 and inclusive of 0. There's the domain for the green line. And somebody tell me what the domain for the, let me look at the picture again. Now, it says it stops at 10. So we're going to go with the assumption that that's not an arrowhead. So we're going to use 10. So from, wait a minute. That's 3. I'm sorry, 3. X is 3, not 5. I looked at the wrong number. Okay. So tell me what the orange line, what is it domain? From 3 to what? That's supposed to be a 3, not a 5. Can we use 3 with the orange line?
We can.
We can. So that's inclusive of 3 and goes to 10, and it looks like it's inclusive of 10 also. So I have a feeling that they're going to be asking for these two guys right here. So I'm going to leave that there for a second. And we're going to pull up the question. Let me pull up the question.
How would you get +6? My computer's kind of fuzzy.
I'm sorry, what?
How would you get +6
Okay.
for the orange part?
Negative 1/3 times negative 3 is positive 1. And bring the 5 over, it becomes positive 5. 5 plus 1 is 6.
Okay, then. Thank you.
Got it?
Thanks.
All right, let's see where your answer is. I want you to look at the answers. I got to bring it down a little bit. X plus 4. We got X plus 4, X plus 4, X plus... Oh, there's one that we can mark out. Why can we mark this one out? Because it says what? It says X minus 4. Okay, so let's look at the second one. Negative 1/3 X plus 6. 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 Okay, we can't take anything out of that. So now let's look at the domain. 0, 3. So this says greater than 3. That's not right. That's not right at all. So that one's out. Okay, this one says less than 3. That's okay. Hell, this one says 7. I don't know, where'd they get 7 from? What am I showing you here? Somebody tell me what I'm showing you.
Process of elimination.
Wow. Mr. Pagella, did you look that up?
Oh, that wasn't me, but I was definitely thinking it.
Who was it? Because Mr. Pagella's name wrote up. Who said that?
That was me.
Mr. Adamson, you did very good. I only pick on Mr. Pagella because I don't like him. All right. Question. Any questions? So it should be C. Is this a good test question? Yes. Let me go ahead and tell y'all, I don't like piecewise functions because I think it confuses students. But on this one, I would give you this one because you're using algebra to figure out the piecewise function. So I like this problem. This is a piecewise function. Write that down so you will know. A piecewise function. In case some of you didn't get taught that in high school, okay? Or wherever. And get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. That's 26. And I've got 6 minutes, looks like. So let's go. We've got time to go over one more. Somebody sent 37 in twice, so that's probably coming from two different classes. So we'll go over this one. This is 37/12. 1, 2, 37/12. 1, 2, 37/12. And this one says Absolute value. Okay, first of all, this is a calculator question, so let's get the calculator out. Give everybody a couple of minutes to find their calculator. Okay, and I'm going to hit y is equal. How do you do absolute value? Well, you go down to, I think it's the math key. And somewhere on here, there it is, absolute value, number 1, of, and I'm going to put parentheses because I'm going to do a fraction, x squared, move over 1, minus 6, close parentheses, divided by, open parentheses, x plus 5, close parentheses. Everybody good?
Yep.
And then hit graph. Now, I would go to zoom standard maybe. Zoom standard is 6. See what that does. Let me turn off my stat plot. All right, we got some sort of a saddle. So I'm going to draw a picture of it. And we're going to check out for hidden behavior. Y'all know what hidden behavior is? Nobody knows what hidden behavior is. It's something that might be happening in here, like, do you know if this is crossing the x-axis or sitting on the x-axis? You don't know because you can't what? See it. So I'm going to take my handy-dandy zoom, and I'm going to zoom in box, because I use zoom box. You can use the window if you want to, but I don't use the window. To me, that's too complicated. Well, if I could get this thing to work, damn Russians. But they're presidential. Enter. That's all. No mean tweets and presidential. That's what we got. The stock market goes to hell in a handbasket. That's okay. Looks like to me it's touching the x-axis. Everybody see that? So let's find out where it's touching so we can figure out in case they ask. So hit second, trace, and you want to find the 0. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put left bound right there. Oops, sorry. Give me a second. I don't hold the button down. Left bound, right bound. That just tells the computer, calculator, kind of narrows it down a little bit. Okay, there is your x-intercept. Write that down, negative 2.5 and 0. So we know this point is negative 2.5 comma 0. And let's find the error of the one. So I'm going to zoom out, zoom standard 6. And I'm going to go over here and find this one since we know it's touching now. So I'm going to hit second, trace, 0. And I'm going to go over here. Left bound is right there. Right bound is right there. Inside, guess. And that is 2.5 on that side. Now, let me ask y'all a question. I don't know what they're asking, but I know that these are pretty much negative infinity to positive infinity is my domain because it's an absolute value. It's not a radical or a rational. So my domain is all real numbers. My range is from 0 to infinity. 0 to infinity. And then there's your x-intercepts. It's decreasing from negative infinity to negative 2.5. It's increasing. And you'd have to find this vertex. So we got to find that vertex. So let's find it. I'm just showing you how to use your calculator. I have no idea what the question's asking, but the reason I'm showing you this calculator stuff is because this is a review, and I'm trying to show you everything I can with just one question. So second trace maximum, and I'm on 17 seconds. So let's get this maximum, and I'm gonna put it, that looks like the highest point. Oh shoot, don't hold down your, I suck, shut up. Hold on, I'll get back there in just a minute. There we go. I think the max is right in there. So I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to put it over here. Enter. And then I think the max is probably right in there. There's your vertex. So write that down. Your vertex is negative 0.06 or 0.64, comma 1.28. So your increasing is from negative 2.5
one message coming in on secured channel
to negative 0.64, and then decreasing from negative 0.64 to 2.5, and then increasing from 2.5 to infinity. Now, I guarantee you I answered at least their questions with all that, because there's really nothing else you can do with this problem except find the x-intercept, the vertex, domain, range, and increasing and decreasing values. So let's see what they ask before y'all start going into convulsions. Okay, first of all, which one is it? I believe it's this one, is it not? Yeah. Okay. What is this? What is the domain of the function? The domain should be from all real numbers. Cannot equal. It is a ration. It's a rational. I'm sorry. It's absolute value. I'm sorry. I messed up. I didn't remember the radical. I meant the rational. This is, that's why I should have wrote it down. What is it? Absolute value of what? I messed up. X squared minus 6 over x plus 5. You got to put that x plus 5 equal to 0. I forgot that. I'm sorry. So negative 5 will give you 0. You can't have negative 5. So the domain is negative infinity to negative 5 and negative 5 to infinity. My bad. Sorry about that. And where are the peaks? That's the end. That's the peak is the vertex, and x is equal to negative 0.64. And I don't know why they don't call it the peak. I didn't add the 1. I'm sorry. Where are the valleys? The valleys is at negative 2.5 and 2.5, and they probably won't freaking parentheses. So I didn't put the parentheses. Whoa. Oh, I didn't see the -9 is probably off my screen, so you'll have to zoom out a little bit. I didn't see that one. But there's the 2.5 and positive 2.5. What are the intercepts? Well, the y, you'll have to find the y-intercept. So let's go back. Let's find that y-intercept right there. So second, and, well, it's trace. I guess, I don't know, you can't use the intersect because you don't, and I don't think it'll do that. So I don't know if it'll do the 0 or not. I don't know. Maybe the value. Let's see. No, x is equal to 0. There we go. 1.2. So that's your y-intercept. So do y'all see that this is a calculator question? Do y'all see that? I hope you do.
Yeah.
Is this a test question? Yes. But it's a calculator drill is all it is. So make sure you can use your calculator on this because that's what it is. All right, I'm going to shut her down now because it's 1 o'clock. And no, my hour is up and it's already passed. So y'all continue to work on 1.2, 1.3. Now, let me tell you this. I would not get too far into chapter 2 because we may do some skipping in chapter 2.